Hi, I have made a dress. I decided what to use my fabric for from my last haul, and so I will show you today what it is that I'm actually wearing. Oh, the cat is outside whinging his head off, but I've let him in and out, so I might have to pause and let him in, or just put up with the meowing in the background. Today I'm wearing the dress that I've just finished, which is the fabric I had from Pin and Sew in my last fabric haul. I'll just show you the pattern that I used. Now I was undecided over a couple of patterns which one to use. It's a jersey fabric, which one to use, but I went with the Tilly and the Buttons Bettine dress, and I did the version without the pockets because I made it in jersey. Now this pattern here is mainly for wovens, but if you go on the Tilly's website, there is a hack that you can do to make it in jersey. So basically, there's normally facings which go all around the neckline, so you get rid of those and then you do a neckband, and she quite helpfully has on her website what size that you're going to make, and then the size of piece of neckband that you need to cut out. So it gives all the different sizes and all the different neckband widths and lengths, which is really helpful. And I think it's sitting relatively flat as well. I'm quite pleased with it. Some neckbands that I've used in some patterns are not really long enough, and then they really stretch the fabric out and really sort of gather and pull it. Now sitting here, I can see in the viewfinder, I looked like one sleeve was actually longer than the other, but I think that's possibly the way I'm sitting, and that may be because I have a bit of a dodgy back at the moment. I sat on the floor about a week ago to cut out, because I always cut out on the floor because I think I can lay all my pattern pieces out and all my fabric in one big strip. And I even bought some knee pads from Lidl, builder's knee pad, gel knee pads, so that it would protect my knees, because let's face it, I'm not 21 anymore. So I thought that would help, because we have a hard tiled floor here in the conservatory, which is a sewing room here. But I sat there and I overstretched, I think. And then I was crouching and leaning over, and a few days later I could hardly move, and it's been really sore. So I actually went to the osteopath yesterday, but I'm still a bit bruised and battered about. So if it looks like I've got one sleeve longer than the other, it's probably because I'm leaning more to one side than the other. So I will try and straighten up. My husband always says I have quite bad posture, so I should sit upright like this. I made a size 4, which took 2 meters of fabric, but I'll show you how much I had left over. So it's probably 150 centimeters wide. I have this big length left over, and so my daughter I did say to my daughter, oh, would you like a t-shirt? And her eyes lit up. She loved the fabric, but I don't know what I could make. She's only 8, so not adult size and not tiny tot either. Does anybody know any preferably free good patterns for a children's t-shirt? But this is the dress. So it has, let me just move my chair. Oh, if I can move. So it has a gathered waist with elastic. Now what I did for, I'll stand here so you can actually see me. Now what I've done is, with the waistband casing, it tells you to fold down, but I actually fold up because I prefer that look. So it's not too flouncy, because I guess it would be like that. I felt a bit more defined on my waist by putting the casing up. I didn't do any pockets because it's jersey fabric, and they recommend that you probably don't put pockets on because it can then stretch out. There you go. It's about, I think it's knee length. I'll try and get a picture of it. I'll try and get a full length picture. But with the sleeves, what it tells you to do is there's an extra like cuff section, and it like folds up, and then you stitch it on. So you end up with these sort of turn-ups, but they've sort of got added bulk, which is quite awkward if you're wearing a fitted jacket, I found. It adds, or a cardigan or anything like that, it adds quite a bit of bulk to the sleeves. So all I did, and it was probably quite a lazy hack, I literally just folded over once and then top stitched around, and I didn't zigzag, because I know sometimes with the top stitching zigzag, it does look a bit like you've made it yourself. I do have a twin needle, but I've never had much success because I've always found that it skips stitches. I top stitch one, just a normal straight stitch around the neckline in the same as what I've done on the sleeve, or the cuff, sleeve, yeah, sleeve, not cuff. So I did one normal stitch length, but I made it slightly shorter and then just stitched around that, and it hasn't stretched out or snapped or anything. But I always have problems with that. By not having to cut out there's options for tabs and cuffs and all sorts. Got rid of all that, so I didn't have to use any fabric for cutting that out. Didn't have the pockets, and it all went together relatively quickly and easily. Now the problems with my last bettine that I made was because it was a woven fabric and I couldn't move, and that's why it was tight. But because this is a jersey, it moves with you, and it's not really clingy around like the bum area or anything, or around the tummy area as well. Because it's like gathered in here, it kind of skims down. I think it works better in a jersey fabric than a woven fabric. I also made my daughter an Alice band, so it stretches out of the same material because she loves wearing headbands, and that was a quick tutorial by the Stitch Sisters, which they put on their channel ages ago, about using up jersey scraps, and that is quite a good go-to. My daughter, if she sees that I've got a nice jersey fabric, her first question is, will you make me a hairband? Now in my last video I wasn't sure whether I was going to make the bettine or whether I was going to make this McCall's dress, and I quite like the look of the sleeveless version. But the sun has gone and it has rained all week, which we do need rain, and I do have vegetable plants outside, which I'm trying to keep the cat off because he keeps sniffing around. And we had a strawberry patch, and there's part of it that he just decided to dig up and use as a toilet, which is gross. So I had to transfer a lot of my strawberry plants into pots just to kind of keep them away. And now I've got little pots with cucumbers and some lettuces and things like that, and he was sniffing around, so I'm hoping that he's gonna just leave him alone. But hopefully the rain and the occasional sun that we get will grow the plants outside, which is really good. But it means that it's not great sleeveless dress weather. So one thing I did buy, and I bought this for my birthday back in March, and I haven't sewn it up or done anything about it because we've had lots of sunny weather, is this. It's a Tilly and the Buttons Eden jacket. Now, as you can see, it's a raincoat, or you can have it on the back. You can have it as a winter coat here. I bought it because I was going to have it as a raincoat. I treated myself because I was given some birthday money by my mother-in-law, but it wasn't cheap. I think this pattern was with postage. It's like 16 or 17 pounds. It's a lot of money considering that I've just bought some patterns in the sale for £2 each. This is like way up there. But now it's raining. I'm thinking maybe I should consider actually doing something with this. But the problem is, why I haven't done it is because if I look, so I made a size 4 on the bettine. So if I look the fabric requirements, so size 4 to 8, I need 3.3 meters. That's 3 5/8 of a yard, but over here they're all sold in metric, in meters. If it's a wide fabric. Something is okay, so 3.5 meters. But when I've looked at what kind of waterproof fabrics there are around, they are really expensive. And when I added it up when I first got the pattern, I was, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll get some fabric. I added it all up. It was going to cost me like £50 to make a raincoat. And I don't, that's quite a lot of money for a raincoat, because you could buy one for that, which is probably a better, more waterproof fabric than what I could buy and make myself. But BST fabrics in the UK, unfortunately, they are online, but unfortunately they don't ship. I don't think they ship outside of the UK, but I could be wrong. They have some really good prices, and they have some soft shell fabric. So it's waterproof on one, or showerproof on one side, and fleece on the inside. So I don't think I would need a separate lining so it wouldn't be too hot. And I think it was only about maybe £7 a metre. If that, I think, yeah, £6 something, £7 a metre. Trouble is, it wasn't plain. This is the raincoat I currently have, bright pink, and it has a, I would say, rubbery feel to it, but I'm not really sure what it's made of. And it has a Or is it like silky sort of lining? I mean, the inside's pretty ugly because it's just white, but the feel of it and the pockets and everything, I quite like, you know, I quite like it. And I think if I made this, I would possibly leave these bits off. When the pattern first came out, there was a lot of negative reviews or people's opinions who hadn't made it, but they said it's very boxy and it wasn't very flattering, and usually that's the kind of shape that I avoid going to, because I do need something which goes in at the waist, which I know the Kelly Anorak by Closet Case Patterns, that has a drawstring waist, but it looks really complicated, and I don't do really technical patterns. Well, not at the moment. I like to see the results fairly quickly. So I don't know, has anybody made this? Not many people have made it that I've seen, but now the weather is, if we're gonna have rain sort of on and off throughout the summer in the UK, because the weather is all over the place, so I might revisit that. So this is all about the Tillies today. I hope this has inspired you to take a look at the Tilly and the Buttons patterns if you haven't done so already, and sew one up yourself, especially in jersey. I'd really recommend it in jersey. Forget faffing around with all the extra bits. If you want just a plain, simple, quick dress, this is a really go-to pattern. I will pop a link here for my latest video if you want to go and hop over and check that out now.